We are just about out of time, but I do want to look at the results of the last poll question that I asked, if people still remember that there was a poll question, because I keep getting lost in this amazing discussion. So what are the two biggest barriers to successfully developing LNPs today? Well, all right. So going back to methods here, inadequate knowledge of LNP structure and function. Boom. Followed by underdeveloped analytical platforms. Hey. And finally, regulatory unknowns. So the trifecta, I would say.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to close out this discussion. So I want to give each of you, like, we've got 4 minutes. So you each get a minute to elaborate upon your responses here. If there's anything that, you know, surprised you about these results, if they make sense to you. And also maybe tie in a little bit about what you feel like this indicates about some of the priorities that we're going to be focusing on, right, into 2025 as we continue to fine tune our knowledge in this space. So let's start with Kate, and then we'll go to Ben and then Sumit to close this out.
Yep. So, I think the last 2 years we made a lot of progress, and we also have tenfold more questions.
The more we learn, the more we have to ask, right? That's the problem.
Right. So I think this is, in some area you see the converging, in others you just continue exploring new ideas. I think the barrier, like I said before, there are still multiple barriers in every different stage in lipid, in formulation, and understanding the mechanism, and also the translation and development. All these things are there, and also, of course, analytical. I think I just cannot see we can continue with so much empty and not knowing how many aggregation there to put this into patient in the long run, especially when you start doing the therapeutic application.
Yeah.
So those will have to adjust. But I also see, down the road, I like to see more active targeting. I think I know my CMC colleagues may not like it. It's already complicated enough. You put on another thing.
Adding some proteins.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Kay. I think.
Add some antibodies into the mix. Yeah.
Right. So the reason being is you cannot continue to live as a mixture or unknown mixture. You need to come up with a very well-defined mixture. You need to improve the purity, right? So all those things, I think if we have a right conjugation, will help purify the material to start with, but more importantly, I think we need to have a better defined targeting. So I like to see more development in that area. I like to see selection of the ligand and what the criteria for the ligand to be selected and how you conjugate. And, because I think even though I love the particle coming together naturally by its ionic, it seems the whole world coming back together like that, but somehow you have to put in some strict rule into this formulation. I think that's where the ligand active come into play. I know it's still immature at this point, but I like to see more down the road.
More structure around this research, this innovation. Yeah. Ben, what do you think? What are you most taking away from this?
Kate gave it an amazing summary. I think it's been fantastic just to have this discussion, to see what the folks who've been watching are thinking about. Ultimately, all we want to do is improve safety and quality of what we're doing. So all of the things we're discussing are moving us down that road. Yeah. And I just think it's really exciting for the future in this field.
That's a good place to go. Yeah. You're already in the future, so keep rocking. Sumit, you're going to close us out here. What words of inspiration do you have for us as we go off to conquer the world of LNPs successfully today and tomorrow?
No, I don't have any words of inspiration. I'm definitely
secret sauce.
Very glad to have participated in this with the diverse viewpoint of Ben and Kate, and I also the audience who participated. very actively. Unfortunately, we didn't get to all the questions, so maybe we can figure out a way
find
to
a
answer
way.
some of the questions as best as we can, right? What surprised me in this poll a little bit was the regulatory unknowns being that high. I think the regulators have come a long way with us, that they are actually eager to work with us, right? And they are trying to dispel some of the regulatory I guess ambiguity, essentially, right? I personally would have put variability of raw material quality
I was
probably a
gonna
little bit higher,
ask.
but hey,
That would have been my guess, to be honest.
this is a little bit like in our
Back to the
election, right,
lipids.
where
The lipids.
surprise. I would close out with saying it's all about delivery. Lipid alternatives that are stable, immunogenic in terms of vaccines, and of course silent in terms of therapeutics, and tolerable. That's ultimately, we are all working towards that.